Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Capitalize Your Best podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting, and this show is part of the larger Capitalize Your Best podcast network of shows. On Mondays, we have This Is Gonna Hurt, which is a personal podcast about making a better you. Tuesdays, we have the Coach Training Partners podcast, which is about helping coaches create programs and increase their revenue. Today, of course, is Capitalize Your Best podcast. This is where we focus on business and marketing growth. On Thursdays, we don't have a formal show, but we do have an 11 a.m. live Capitalize coaching call within the Capitalize Your Best online community. I'll tell you about that at the end. And then on Fridays, we have a fun show called You're Entitled to Your Opinion, which is just about reviews, pop culture stuff like that I just love. But today, I want to get right into this incredibly crucial topic. And that topic is this: what do you do when your effort is up, but revenue is flat? What do you do when effort is up, but revenue is flat? Guys, this is such a common issue for all businesses. We've experienced it. Most everyone has experienced it. But the thing is, not everyone knows how to get out of it. I'm working so hard. I'm doing so many things, but revenue is flat, or worse, is dipping. What do you do? Well, I want to give you a few moments of encouragement before we start diagnosing. But first, I want you to know this. Your plateau, it's not a motivational issue. It's not that you don't want it. Of course you want it. That's why you're working so hard in your business, either starting it or in sales, whatever the case may be. Your plateau revenue-wise, it's not a motivational issue. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're not motivated, you've got to address that. Motivation only comes from within. But more than likely, your revenue plateau is not because you're not motivated. No, it's typically because consistency without clarity is just noise. Let me say that again. Consistency without clarity is just noise. So you might be consistent in doing the same things over and over again every day, but if you're not clear on what you're doing it and why you're doing it, it's just noise. It's just a bunch of social media, or it's just a bunch of effort. But if you're being consistent, but you're not being clear, then all of a sudden you're going to experience one of those plateaus. That happens all the time. Listen, if effort was all it takes, well, then uh, you wouldn't. I mean, most everybody would succeed. If effort fixed revenue, all you had to do is work a little bit harder and make a little bit more money. Don't get me wrong, you've got to work hard, but effort alone is not going to fix your revenue problem. It never is. Effort is necessary, but remember what I said a minute ago. It's not just consistency without clarity. It's got to be consistency with a purpose. Now, I've been working with businesses since 1999. Started the first business in '03, and it was with eye doctors, and my goal was to help them grow their revenue. And that's now moved into other medical fields, vinyl manufacturing, tons of realtors, construction. And I've seen this issue from everyone, from the people getting started out to people who make $100,000 a year, to eye care practices that are 1 million, to construction companies that are 3 to 5, all the way up to vinyl manufacturer making $23 million a year, right? You can work and you're like, we're doing all this stuff. Why is it not working? And again, remember, it just effort doesn't fix revenue. You've got to have consistency with all that clarity, and then you're going to see it. So let me give you a couple of things that you can fix. Okay, 3 things that you can address that's going to help you fix this. These are common denominators when revenue is flat. Okay, so these are common denominators. So here we go. Here are 3 common denominators when your revenue is flat. 1, you have an unclear target. If you don't know the numbers you're trying to hit, and you don't know the numbers necessary to get there, all the effort in the world is not going to help you. Like, if you don't know what the goal revenue is for the month, and if you don't know the goal number of social media posts, or the goal number of phone calls you're supposed to make, or the goal number, like if you don't have clear targets, if you're not speaking to a target client, those unclear targets are a common denominator of why your revenue is plateaued or going down. You fix that, and then you're going to see revenue growth. Okay, so unclear targets. Second, unclear priorities. Unclear priorities are always a common denominator to a flat revenue. What's an unclear priority? Well, someone says, hey, Gordon, will you go to this meeting? If I go, yeah, sure. Does that fit into the priorities of what I'm supposed to do? I can't go to every networking, ribbon cutting meeting in the world. I go to a lot of them, but I go to the ones that fit my purpose and fit my target. So you can network yourself to bankruptcy. You can go to events to network. You can be busy as all get out, but you've got to have clear priorities. A clear priority just as much knows what to say no to as it knows what to say yes to. So if your priorities are unclear, that is a common denominator to why your revenue has been dipping, okay? Third, here's a third common denominator to a flat revenue. You don't have a long-term plan. If you don't have a long-term plan, then you're not going to know what to do in the short term. Because if you don't know what the long-term plan is, you're just doing whatever pops up in the day. But if you have a long-term plan and you work backwards and create a plan that will help you accomplish that, you will then be able to know what to do in the day. But let me say this again. Let me say it in summary. Here are 3 common denominators that contribute to a flat revenue. Are you ready? 3 common denominators that contribute to a flat revenue. 1, unclear target. If you don't know clearly who you're speaking to and what numbers you're trying to hit, you can't get them. You can't accomplish them. 2, unclear priorities. You don't know what to say no to, and you don't know what to say yes to. And 3, no long-term plan. Those are the 3 common denominators of a flat or a fixed revenue. Guys, let me wrap up here with a story. When I was 50, I retired from 20 years of full-time ministry. And I'd had side businesses of marketing consulting throughout that whole time. But at 50, we started our life all over again. We Control-Alt-Deleted our life. And we went full time into capitalized marketing. And so I had a salary as a pastor and I had a little bit of side gig money. But you guys know that side hustle money doesn't pay the bills. And so we went and capitalized that first full year from 0 to over 6 figures in 12 months. And then the next year, we did a leap even greater than that. And the reason we were able to do it is because we had a very clear target of who we were speaking to. We had very clear priorities of what we were going to say yes to and what we were going to say no to. And we had a long-term plan to get there. When you have a clear target, clear priorities, and a long-term plan, you are going to see your revenue increase. So friends, I hope this is helpful. If you're discouraged, please reach out. I'm sorry. It's so frustrating when your effort is up, but your revenue is flat. And I'll help you look and see if your targets, your priorities are unclear. If you don't have a long-term plan, we'll help you with that. In fact, we have an event coming up on March 9th. It's called Decade in a Day. This is our 4th decade in a day in the last 4 months. This is an all-day workshop. It's limited to 8 people. And we're going to help you map out your long-term plan and your priorities and your targets, both personally and professionally, from 9 to 3 that day. I'm going to bring in some guest speakers. There is a cost to this, but right now, the cost is typically $279, but right now it's $139 for an early bird special while we're still in February. Reach out to me. I'd love for you to grab one of those seats. We meet at the Out of the Box co-working space in Central Park. It's from 9 to 3. That includes breakfast, lunch, and an after event social. Friends, I promise you, when you leave there, you're going to know your targets, you're going to know your priorities, and you're going to have a long-term plan to get there. And friends, if you want to reach out to me between now and then, just text me. But we're also part of the wonderful Capitalize Your Best online community that has daily, weekly, and monthly business and personal coaching. Reach out if you'd like a 7-day free pass there. But I would love to see you at Decade in a Day. If you are discouraged because your effort is up and your revenue is flat, reach out because we will help you identify your targets, identify your priorities, and put together a long-term plan to help you accomplish all those things. I can't wait to hear from you. Talk to you again next week. Thanks so much, friends. Bye-bye.